Hey Funky Buddhas, Larissa here, talking about the pose of the month. Essentially we're looking at cooling poses because it's August and it's very hot and it's already hot in here. So cooling poses are most of the time going to be poses where your hips are above your heart or your head is below your heart. So think upside down, inverted. However, if you're going straight into a headstand or handstand, those are going to be quite physically challenging, and that's going to cause some heat to be built. So we're going to look at a couple of ways that you can cool yourself down a little bit, especially if you come in, like me right now, I'm already sweating. If you come into class like this, you don't necessarily need to do all of the heat building poses. Of course, if you want to work hard, do it, but there's a couple of ways that you can bring some cooling into your yoga practice. So one simple thing I want to walk you guys through, you can do this with me. Oftentimes in class, we start with some salutations, up and down, back and forth, chaturangas, etc. Sometimes we'll do something like halfway lift, bow, rise, bow, halfway lift, bow, rise, etc. Those are really big movements and they're meant to build heat on purpose. However, you can simplify that quite easily by just using your arms. Instead of bow, rise, bow, halfway lift, bow, you're just gonna move your arms up when we inhale and then move them back down when we exhale. So your sun salutation, instead of up and down, back and forth, you may start your first couple by just, we say halfway lift, inhale, and you reach your arms up. We say bow, exhale, and you just reach your arms down. Rise up, breathe in. Bow forward, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. So it's a way that you're starting to connect your breath and your movement together, but you're not doing such big movements, especially if your heart rate's already high and you're already nice and warm. Really, really simple. Stand at the top of your mat. Use your arms, move them with breath. So that's one simple thing you can do. The other thing, we do this often in class, taking a forward fold, like a ragdoll or something is a great way to get your hips above your heart and your heart above your head. So you're just doing a nice mild inversion. You could also do a down dog, something like that. You can use your blocks, allow your hands to rest. You can feel free to bend your knees a lot. Basically allowing somehow the crown of your head to be a little bit relaxed so that your neck is nice and loose, no pressure on your neck at all. And then you stay there as long as you need to so that you can cool off a little bit, start to release some of the heat that's being built in your body. The other things that you can do, like let's say we're doing warrior series. You need a little break, you don't need to go all the way to child's pose. Just take a wide leg forward fold, exactly like ragdoll, but with wide legs instead. Same idea, you can go here, hands down, hands on blocks. But again, you're just allowing your head to be below your heart, hips above your heart. So you're just little small inversions here and there are going to help cool off your body. Final thing we'll look at is legs up the wall. When we get to legs up the wall in class, almost always is signaling we're going to chill out a little bit. You can certainly just use the wall. So literal legs up the wall. Just go up to it, move your mat over to it, put your legs off the wall. It's a perfect way to do it. Another thing that I want to introduce to you guys, play with this in class. You're essentially going to make a little triangle with your blocks. So you're going to put the top of the tips together and you're going to make this little V shape or triangle shape with your blocks. And then you've got a little triangle at the very base of your spine. Your hip bones right here are going to fit just at the edge of that little triangle that you created. And you're going to have to play with it a little bit. If it's kind of stabby in your hips, you may have to widen or shrink your triangle a little bit. But essentially, it's going to give you a little bit different feeling. Instead of the block resting here in legs up the wall, you're going to have two blocks resting something like this, which can sometimes allow a little bit more release in your low back. So it would look something like this. You may be sitting down, getting ready for legs up the wall. You just make a little triangle with your blocks, and then scoot your butt towards your blocks. You can put your butt on the blocks and then lean back. You can also start from back here and then slide your blocks towards you, whatever works for you. But basically, you're just looking for those little bony parts of your hips on the outside of that triangle at the base of your spine. And I'm just going to wiggle my hips in. And right about now, there's no pressure on my low back. My low back is floating, and it allows a little bit of a different release. For me, it feels kind of refreshing. It feels really nice on my low back. You may have to adjust your blocks a little, but this is a great way to add a little extra support to feel something different in your legs up the wall. So, a couple of different ways that you can add some cooling into your hot yoga practice. And then, of course, if you have any questions about any of that, let us know. We're always happy